What's going on, sports fans? Good evening. I am Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy with the Sports Insanity Network with Danny Boy Reginald, and welcome to another exciting edition of Thursday Night Gridiron here on Sports Insanity Network as we begin week 9. Danny Boy, how are you doing, my good friend?
Bill, I am feeling terrific. I got a lot of rest before this show, so I'm
Good.
I am ready to go. Yeah, man. It should be an interesting matchup here tonight for sure. And I'm all giddy about it. Let's go.
Yeah, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, a friend of mine is texting me right now.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that?
Look, obviously it disrupts the flow, but
Eh,
if you gotta take a message, like you
I'll
gotta
text
take
them
a
later.
message. You're a very popular guy, Bill Murphy. So
I'm a
you
very
know,
popular
em,
guy.
embrace embrace it.
I am embracing it. Okay. So anyway, okay. So tonight's matchup, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's Music City versus Steel City tonight.
Mhm.
So let's start talk about the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off a win against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Atlanta Falcons. If anybody gets that reference, you are now my best friend. Um. Anyway, the Titans beat the Falcons 28-3 last week. Will Levis, welcome to the show.
Levis.
Levis. Okay, not Levi's or Levi's, it's the jeans. But Will Levis, welcome to the show, filling in for Ryan Tannehill, who sustained an ankle injury, and he's out tonight too. But we'll get to that in a moment. But Will Levis, 19 completions for 29 attempts, 238 yards, 8.2 average, and 4 touchdowns. Was sacked twice. Not bad for a QB debut. What do you think?
It inspired the Tennessee Titans offense. And look, this is no disrespect to Ryan Tannehill, who's had a pretty solid career. I know the last couple of years hasn't been great for him. It's been really rough to see him struggle, but he's had a good career.
Yes.
It's
And
Levis's time.
we'll talk more about that in a second.
Yeah, but my point is that it's his time,
Yeah.
and it is very obvious. And he's going to make mistakes. He's a rookie, okay. And the Titans are going to have to see through the growing pains. This is Levis's time to take over the team for the rest of this season, and then into next year. They have to be very committed to this guy. It is very obvious with the way Hopkins was involved, with the way they use Henry, his deep passes. It is very clear to me that Will Levis is the quarterback and should be the starter for the remainder of the year. I
Okay.
don't
Well,
care what they. I don't care what they want from Ryan Tannehill. I don't care what Ryan Tannehill wants. Starting quarterback rest of the year is Levis, and has to be him because it is very obvious that the offense moves a whole lot better. And again, it doesn't come without growing pains. But what we saw against Atlanta is an okay team. They're not terrible.
we're like a BC level team.
Yeah, exactly. They did a very good job.
They
And
did. And
and
I
I give them a lot of their flowers.
I have more to say, but I'm just gonna get through the rest of the stats here first. Derrick Henry, 22 carries, 101 yards. We talked about the 4 touchdowns from Levis. DeAndre Hopkins, 4 receptions, 128 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Nick Westbrook Ikine one reception, 33 yards, one touchdown. So yeah, you just talked about it, but yeah, Tannehill's contract expires the rest of the season, and you can tell the Titans have been planning on replacing Tannehill for a while. And you like this year they drafted Levis, and last year they drafted Malik Willis. So you can tell they've had a plan to replace him for a while. And you have just said Levis is the guy. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, he has to be. And again, you do it because it's time. He sat down for 7 weeks, go obviously seeing how the NFL works from the sidelines and just watching the flow of the game, bettering himself as a quarterback, learning the playbook. He's getting reps at practice. This is what he set up for. And again, does it suck that it has to come because of a Tannehill injury? Yeah, of course. It sucks for Ryan Tannehill. It sucks for the team. But next man up. And he took that literally and did an
Yes.
excellent job.
I totally agree with you that Levis is the guy, but there is something that you guys need to keep in mind. It's one game.
But it showed me a
It's one
lot
game.
because Tannehill was struggling
Well,
again.
he's been struggling, and you've
He
heard
was
me
struggling
say on
again against
SIP.
Atlanta. So just saying.
You've heard me say on SIP hundreds of times, and this is a hill I'm willing to die on. Every time the Titans come up for a game in picks, I always say I don't trust Tannehill. And but okay, the thing is, it's like, listen, if Levis wants to show he's the guy, then show us you're the guy. Like I said, you had a great game last week. You're gonna make mistakes because he's a rookie. We don't expect everyone to be Tom Brady when they walk out there. But here's the thing: it's one game, and is it going to be Levy's? Is it going to be Willis? Because Willis is still on Tennessee. So, but and that they've been wanting to replace Tannehill for years. Because why would they draft QBs 2 years in a row?
It is kind of odd. It's kind of odd that they would do that. I mean, Malik Willis definitely, I know he was a third round pick. That's the big thing.
Because remember,
So
in that draft, quarterbacks didn't start going off the board till the third round.
yeah, so it wasn't like big heavy quarterback, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, but obviously, if you're Malik Willis, you can't really worry about that because it's very clear that you have Will Levis. He's a second rounder, um, who they clearly like better than Malik Willis, and so you're just gonna have to just obviously figure out and stuff. I mean, look, the bottom line is they chose Levis for a reason. And it's because it's very clear that he can move the offense better. Probably has better chemistry with the receiving corps. Probably can run the offense better. Running game is better all of a sudden. So, again, not a shot to Tannehill, not a shot to Malik Willis. It's just, who fits the bill better. So you're just going to have to suck it up a little bit.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, so a new era is coming in Tennessee. And speaking of that new era, is Levis what the Titans need to turn this season around?
Well, I mean,
They're
I
three and
don't
four right
know.
now.
Well, turning the season around, I mean, the Titans stink. I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
I'm just being real with you, and again, I'm trying to be, you know, respectful because like the Titans. Look, obviously the Titans they're doing the best, but they're 3-4. Can they make it a season? Probably can. Of course, anyone can make it a season.
Well, the
Um,
AFC South is such
yeah,
a bad division.
yeah, but
There's only one
and that's
team
the
in that
thing.
division that's over 500.
Right, in the AFC South, that's the thing. It is a terrible, terrible division, and you know the unfortunate part about it is that if the Titans keep losing, or then it's not going to look good for them. They're already way behind the 8 ball with the Jaguars, man. So it's not helping their cause that you have Jacksonville at 6-2. So then their best path forward is through the lower seeds via the wild card and stuff. And guess what? They may not even get to that because you have teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers already on top of everybody, for that 7th spot. So, and then the Browns are right in front of them at 6. So the best path forward is obviously through the lower seeds of the playoff spots. However, the AFC is a pretty tough conference, and the Titans don't look good. So yeah, can Will Levis be the guy to turn this season around? Yeah, he can, but they have to win games. And if they don't win games, then it means absolutely nothing. Now, it will mean a lot for Will Levis because he's getting reps. But for a team like the Titans in general, like if they don't win games, then they're not going to go anywhere. That's just something that you just have to deal with.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that because I was about to ask, do you think the Titans can catch the Jaguars in the AFC South? And again, the AFC South is so bad. And the thing is, like I said, the Jaguars are the only team in that division that are above 500. It's not
That's
like
good. They're the only team that's good.
because it's not like all the teams are bad in anyone's division, like the NFC South most years. But because you got to look at it this way, I feel like it's Jacksonville's division, and everyone's just pulling away, and they're just pulling away from everyone else. You know what I mean?
Right.
And do I honestly think they can catch? Well, catch them all after today. They only got a couple games that are Bucks are winnable. They're playing Tampa Bay next week. Then the following week they're playing the Jags. Then they're playing the Panthers, which should be winnable. The Colts, I think that could go either way. And they have the Titan, no, the Titan. They have the Dolphins,
Right.
which the Dolphins are really good, and the Texans and the Seahawks. So yeah, they got the Texans twice and Jacksonville twice. So with that, do you think they can turn things around right now, or you think just try to get to the lower seed? Jacksonville, congratulations.
Well, but the thing and that the problem is getting there because it's not like the schedule's favorable.
It isn't.
So again, you're at, it's a tough ask for a team that's not very good. That's all. That's pretty much what it is. Tough ask for a team that's not really good.
I can agree with you on that. So, okay. So the Titans. Next question. Is Derrick Henry the best running back in the NFL? If not, who is?
Well, he's definitely one of the best. Um, but I mean, for sure, top 10, maybe higher than that. I'll say that.
I
Um, but
possibly maybe top five for me.
yeah, I mean, it certainly you can argue that. The
I would put
biggest,
McCaffrey at number one.
Yeah, but the biggest thing with me with Derrick Henry is that he doesn't win a lot. He
He
hasn't
doesn't.
won a
He's
lot.
a great player on a
And
crappy team.
yeah, and that's the problem. Like for forever. Obviously, there have been some really good Titan teams, and there have been some bad Titan teams.
Majority of them bad.
Yeah, it just stinks for him because it's not like he look. We obviously recognize that he's a great running back. We recognize the top 10. I would say top 10 very least. Running back in the league, absolutely incredible. But this is year 9 for him. He's going on year 10 next season. So, at some point, as he gets into his 30s, that production is going to go down.
Oh, it is.
So,
Because we
um,
know there is a whatchamacallit, there is a decline in the market for running backs.
right. Well, but also since there is a decline from the need of running backs and stuff. On the other hand, though, the running backs that are in the league, that are coming into the league and stuff, they're really good and they're more explosive than Derrick Henry is. Not nothing against Derrick Henry, but there are way more explosive running backs right now that are starting to take over, and it's something that hasn't gone unnoticed and very unfortunate. But yeah, no, he's definitely one of the top 10. I just feel bad that he hasn't really cemented it with a big time playoff run. I'm not saying he has to win a Super Bowl, but big time playoff run to Super Bowl where he's a major factor. And I hope that this will be the case with Will Levis, that when that since he's now the starter, and I hope again he stays as a starter, that at the very least the running game can get going again. And we started seeing that a little bit here and there, but the running game can get it going. And tall order for him, but I think he can do it with this offense. And let's see how it goes. I'm actually very excited for Derrick Henry.
Oh, I
Um,
am too. I
and
love
I,
Derrick Henry.
I hope that it works out. I really do. And look, he's going to be with the Titans for a while. No one traded for him, so he's going to be there. He's going to be there through thick and thin, and he's going to have to deal with whatever this quarterback brings. But he's a great player, and he'll make it work for sure.
Yeah. I think my thing with Derrick Henry is because like other running backs, Saquon, I feel like he's injury prone a lot. Am I crazy or am I not?
No, you're not crazy.
Yeah, I know. I feel like he is very injury prone. So I think that's my big issue. But I do agree with you at the point that he's not bad. He's just on a bad team.
Yeah.
And I hope whenever his contract expires, that he could go to a team that's decent because I think he deserves it.
Yeah, look, it's gonna be tough. I mean, age is gonna be a major factor with
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
They're gonna want some younger running backs. A lot of these teams, and again, he can probably be a 1-2 punch for a Super Bowl team coming in.
I think
I,
so too.
I love New York Jets. Hello, but
Reggie's hoping for that.
I
He's
mean,
hoping for that.
I will take him any day. Put him next to Brees Hall. That's going to be
Oh, that'd
something.
be unstoppable.
Brees Hall number one. Though I'm gonna be real with you, the Jets already have like a good running back room, so it's like, except for Dalvin Cook.
But
But
if but if
yeah,
that happens,
yeah.
Reggie is going to be playing in the Super Bowl parade
Oh,
next year
please, him, Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. No,
to get
but
that float
but
refund for the Super Bowl parade this year after Rodgers went down to get that
uh,
refund.
uh, I wasn't expecting Super Bowl. Yeah, in your mind.
What about that
But
deposit you paid for the float?
that's other New Yorkers' problems. In any case, look,
I'm just
obviously,
kidding, folks. I'm
it's
sorry. Continue, Reg.
it's all good. you know, again, I just feel horrible that he has to deal with this, and he'll be there now. He does. He has a UFA in 2024, so this is really his final season um to make something happen. But um you mentioned the decline of the running back market. It might actually not benefit him because he may not get the money that he wants. So I'm willing to see if the Titans are willing to keep him. And let's see how this rest of the season goes and see if they're willing to keep him. So it's a tough thing to ask.
It is a tough thing to ask right now. So
But
yeah,
it's certainly I think um uh I really do think that this will be a good moment for him to see where the team is at. And I mean, look, I'm always a sucker for teams that stay for players to stay with one team. So in any case, move on. I think
so
enough.
yeah, so Derrick Henry, yeah, I would say top five, but I would put McCaffrey at number one. I don't
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
you
no,
think.
definitely. I'd say top 10 at the least, top 10. I don't know
I would
about
say top five.
top. I mean, I understand why you think that, but it's not. You're not far off. I just think top 10 probably a much better scale for him.
Yeah, it's a more broader spectrum, as you
Yeah,
say.
because top 5, you can easily put a lot of running backs in there.
So, what do you think is the X factor tonight for the Titans?
Well, to me, it has to be Henry because he provides the explosiveness. But the biggest thing that I have with him is he faced the Steelers so many times, and the Steelers have somehow, some way figured him out. So, um, but he is going to be a huge, huge, huge thing that they need to really bolster the offense and everything. I just don't know what Will Levis is yet. I think he's the best option, but he could have a really bad game too. So it's like, to me, it's him, Derrick Henry,
Okay,
biggest factor, the X
and I'm
factor.
going to agree with you because here's the thing: the tight the Steelers pass rush defense is not pass rush is not that pass rush defense is not that great. So I think the Titans should take advantage of that and give the ball to Henry and run the ball, and that will exhaust the pass rush. Okay, you ready to flip this? Okay, moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mhm.
They are coming off a loss last week
Tough one.
against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Um,
Mitch Trubisky went 15 completions for 27 attempts, 138 yards, 5.1 average, one touchdown, two interceptions, was sacked twice. And because he came in for Kenny Pickett at 10 completions, 16 attempts, 73 yards. Because Pickett got injured last week.
yeah, he hurt. I believe it was his ribs he hurt.
Yeah, but he is playing tonight.
Yeah, well, and thank God.
You think Pickett's the guy?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, he's your starter. You don't want to lose your starter because of
Don't lose your starter.
that injury. And the Steelers actually have played very well with Kenny Pickett under center. So, and again, Mitch Trubisky obviously was just there to fill a void on Sunday because it was very clear that the Jaguars were just a way better team. By the way, how about Jacksonville? That offense is clicking, defense is clicking, everything is clicking with that team. they're on a massive streak right now, and they can't be stopped right now. So, like I
Oh,
said,
that team is on
the six
fire.
and two Jaguars are absolutely incredible. Um,
And Trevor Lawrence is on one of my fantasy teams. So
exactly. Then Trevor Lawrence is doing great with the fantasy owners. He's providing them with a great stats. But yeah, no, look, I think that Steelers loss was just more the fact that Jacksonville was just better. And losing Kenny Pickett obviously did not help things. So you hope that when by having Kenny Pickett come back, that it'll it'll have a they'll have a better showing on offense today. Uh Rib injury is a bit of a concern. I mean, ribs are not easy to come back
no, they're not.
from. But if he says he's good to go, I don't see why not. And the Steelers should trust, and I think Mike Tomlin does trust his quarterback when he says that he's good to go. Mike Tomlin never misses when it comes to his players. So, man, let's see what happens. They need to bounce back big time because
Yeah,
they are right now in that final spot in that playoffs. Obviously, it's very early to talk about playoffs, but it's not. It's obviously we're starting to get to that time. We're in November now, so we're starting to
yeah.
get
Where I am already in the stages of grief about the Giants. So
exactly.
we're in that time of year right
and
now.
the Jets are teasing me again. But um, but yeah, no, this is about the time where we start to see. Week 9, we have 9 more weeks left in the regular season, so we have to start seeing playoffs as a possibility and stuff as we get into the later months. And right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in a really good spot. They're in a very tough AFC, but they played well against the AFC, and they've won their games and done a fantastic job at just running for net. And that obviously goes to the head coach Tomlin, who's again, who continues to amaze me about how he can keep any team that he coaches with the Steelers, keep them together, and they never ever give up, never back down. It is absolutely incredible what we're seeing. But yeah, they need a major bounce back game here.
Yeah, I absolutely can agree with you on that. I think Pickens is really. I think he's the guy over Trubisky. Am I right?
Well, I mean, he's the starter, so he was already the guy. It's not a matter of Trubisky is always he wasn't a backup in Chicago, but he was a backup in Buffalo, and he's a backup now. There's a reason why he's a backup because
He's a journeyman.
he's not very good, and you know obviously he's had the experience of being on a winning team in Chicago, but then again I think Kenny Pickett's better suited for this moment. So it's not a question of whether Kenny Pickett is going to lose his job. No, he's not going to lose his job. He's playing well. Why would you throw someone on to the street if they're not being bad? It doesn't make any sense.
It does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
So you so do you think in the AFC North right now, they are tight in the AFC North right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Steelers are going to catch the Ravens in the AFC North?
I mean, they certainly could.
Because that's a tight division right
Very tight division. Oh,
That
for sure.
division's very tight. Steelers playing well, Cleveland hanging on, the Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow starting
But,
to find his footing
but just
again.
like right, but the thing is, just like the Titans, the Steelers are also on one of those You know, they're in one of those situations where the best team in their division is one of the best teams in football, Baltimore Ravens.
with Lamar Jackson, of course,
Yeah,
top five quarterback.
you
No,
know they're obviously Baltimore's 6 up, 2 down. They're definitely a threat to all the AFC. So yeah, the Steelers are in a similar spot with the Titans where they sort of have to creep their way in, and so far they've done that very well. They're in the 7th seed, and they hold a tiebreaker across many other teams that are also 4-3. So they probably are going to be, if they make the playoffs, unless Baltimore falters, which could happen, but highly doubt it's going to
and
happen.
it's the NFL. Anything can happen.
Yeah. So, unless that happens and the Steelers go on a massive run, which I don't expect, but again, you just said it, NFL, anything can happen any given Sunday. Right now, I just don't see the Steelers team as any major threat to the Ravens. And again,
Like you also got to, but I would
but
say don't count Cleveland out. Don't count Cincinnati out either.
right,
I think right now Cincinnati, and I'm not just saying this because I do Bengals coverage here, but that team is starting to find its footing.
yeah, I mean,
And
the,
they're still like in last place because they haven't won any divisional games yet. But I think they can come back and give the Steelers a run for their money in this team, in this in this in this division. Sorry, brain fart there.
it's all good. No, I
Don't
mean,
worry, guys, I'm not drunk.
I don't know. I mean, since Cincinnati got off to a really bad start, I mean, I don't know.
With Burrow's injury and
Yeah,
everything.
that was a tough one. That had to have been a really tough one. Um, right now, I think that the threat's the Ravens.
I can agree. I think the Ravens are a threat, and I think the Bengals are a threat as well to Pittsburgh. I
Well,
because like I said about the Bengals, I think
like
they
one of the
can
last
make.
playoff spots. Yeah.
I think right now they can make that. They just pulled off a great win against San Francisco. I
Mhm.
think they can pull ahead in front of Pittsburgh in the AFC North right now. So what I'm trying to say is, I think the AFC North, okay, the Ravens might run away with it, but for other playoff
But they're
spots, it's
not.
anyone's spot.
Well, again, the Ravens are playing really
Really
good
good ball
football
right
right now.
now.
They're playing very good football. I know a couple weeks ago they had a massive victory over the absolutely killer Detroit Lions, man, and they beat them up. And if they can beat up a great team like the Lions, I mean, at 6-2, that's a powerful statement win that they had there at the time. So tough one. It's a tough division that the Steelers have to deal with. But again, for the Steelers, it's just about getting to the playoffs.
Yes, I was about to ask you, do you think they're a playoff contender? I'm going to say yes.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. No, they're right there with the Cleveland and the New York Jets and all them. Like they're right there. They're a good enough team. They have good enough playmakers for sure. Where they could, win a couple big battles there for sure. Um, like I said, Kenny Pickett, for young quarterbacks actually played very well. So I hope that he stays through it. He's gonna do he's gonna be terrific if they continue to develop him very well.
Yes. And also Najee Harris, too. I think the Steelers got and George Pickens. I think the Steelers have a good team right now.
Yeah, no,
And
they got some good studs there.
yeah. And you know what I wanted to ask you? I know you just praised him, but it's about Mike Tomlin. Do
Mm-hmm.
you, even though he's given them a bunch of winning records, and I know you're going to sit here and call me a complete idiot for asking you this question,
No, no, don't do that. What? No.
Do you think if the Steelers don't make the playoffs this year, the Steelers and Mr. Tomlin should part ways?
No.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you, and here's why.
Why would you fire someone that's been keeping the team together?
Okay, well,
Stability. Like the team has been so stable with Tomlin. Like who?
well, here's the
who
thing. You keep missing
right.
the playoffs. You haven't won a playoff game under Tomlin since you haven't your last successful run was in the oh wait, he's made it to a couple championship games. It's my fault.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't understand. You made the Super
But
Bowl.
you know, they lose in the playoffs, and the past two seasons they have winning seasons and don't make it in. And okay, maybe I shouldn't say I fully agree they should part ways, but I think it's going to
But
be
see that's the thing. Like this is a young retooling team. What do you expect Tomlin to do? If Mike Tomlin is going to get fired over coaching a team that's still very young, their best players T.J. Watt, who's
I love TJ Watt, by the
oh
way.
I love him too.
I love JJ Watt too.
Yeah, but
I
you
love
mean
both the Watts.
JJ's not playing right now, but but yeah, I think that right now, this team still fairly young. TJ Watt isn't, but still fairly young and up and coming. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to shop for coaches if the one big thing that's been so stable about this franchise is the coaching. The Steelers, you know, have had decades of just non-coaching changes. That's not really within the identity. But just putting that aside, nothing Tomlin has done. Tomlin has had some really awful teams
Oh
that
yes.
finished the season with a non-losing record. So I'm just basically what I'm asking you is this: who would be a better option for the Steelers?
You know what? You make a fair point. Nobody.
It's simple.
Yeah,
Like
I think you make very fair points. But I've
yeah,
been
like
reading a
he
lot of things that say Tomlin and the Steelers should part ways.
yeah. Well,
But
I understand what your thinking was, but the man has never had a losing season.
but let me play devil's advocate here with you. Do winning seasons mean anything if you don't make the playoffs?
But the circumstances matter too. It's not like Tomlin is coaching a really good team and missing the playoffs. He's coaching a team that's mediocre at best on paper and taking them to non-losing seasons. Because I'm only saying non-losing because some of the seasons have been 8-1. So I want to keep in mind that that does not count as a losing season. Um, so yeah, like I don't understand why
People
firing
think
the
this.
coach would make sense for him, especially when he had a tail end of a Roethlisberger career, which Roethlisberger was not good, and then you had this retooling, rebuild type of thing that he's obviously has a say over certain matters in this. So again, he's done a very good job at keeping the team together, keeping them stable, and the Steelers somehow, some way, with a mediocre at best team on paper, still find their way into discussions of playoffs. So it makes no
Tomlin
sense.
must be doing something right then.
I just want to know who would be a better option for this team right now.
To be honest, I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're right now, no one would give the stability like Mike Tomlin has. So I think he's the right coach. Now, look, down the line, let's say they become really good and they still can't get over the hump, then you can start questioning about coaching change to just get over the hump. But they're not there yet. So it wouldn't make sense during a retool rebuild type of situation where the stability comes from the head coach. Like the Steelers, one of the biggest things about the Steelers that I love, they're never in a major spotlight situation. There's no chaos, no drama, none of that stuff. He keeps the team together. It makes no sense to fire him.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? You've won me over. I agree with you.
Mm.
So I want to ask you for what do you think is the X factor for the Steelers tonight?
Defense. You have to contain Henry, and you have to
Oh,
you also,
100% agree on that
you
one.
also have to force. Sorry, pistachio stuck in my mouth. You have to force Will Levis because he had a very good throwing clinic against the Falcons. If you force him to keep throwing to big time receivers like DeAndre Hopkins
I
and stop the
I'm
run
sorry.
game, that could actually be an advantage to the Steelers. So the Steelers definitely offensively, I wouldn't necessarily go conservative, but definitely like if you have the momentum, like score. But yeah, defense is a big X factor there. They have to contain Henry. They have to force them to throw. Once they're being forced to throw, that's not a good sign for Tennessee.
So you got to force Tennessee to throw, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, essentially.
I think a big X factor would be for the Steelers is to utilize George Pickens and Deontay Johnson
It's a good one.
because they got to take advantage of Kristen Fulton from the Titans, who hasn't really been playing well in this first half of the season. So I would say take advantage of the weak spot there and hit Johnson and hit Pickens.
Hey man, that's I mean, it's not wrong for sure.
Yeah. So guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
All right. You ready? 2 minutes on the
Uh,
clock. Let's go. As you know, Josh McDaniels has been fired. Do you think there will be another coach firing before the season ends, or they're going to wait till the season's over?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
I think most of them they're probably going to wait till the season's over
I mean,
because
yeah. Well,
here's the
I mean,
thing:
go ahead.
who is going? Because most of them are going to wait until the season's over, and my reason being is because if you're getting fired in the middle of the season, if you're getting fired in the middle of the season, you must be a special type of bad. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it has to be dreadful. I mean, I right now I just don't really see that coming out of any NFL team. So, um, I mean, I'm just gonna say I don't know, but my assumption is that no one's going to get fired. By the way, the Raiders waited way too long to fire Josh McDaniels.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no reason why he should have been the coach for this long. But keep going. Sorry, I know we don't have that much time.
Okay, next question. Which team would you definitely not count out for a potential playoff run?
New York Jets.
I would say the Jets too. I would also say don't count out the Browns either.
Well, the Browns are in a playoff spot right now, so that's massive for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not count out the Browns. And for NFC, I don't think I count out the Vikings. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I just remembered Kirk Cousins is out for the year. Sorry, ding.
It's
Um,
man, it's all good. By the way, prayers up to Kirk Cousins. Um,
get better, Kirk.
yeah, I hope he gets well.
And I would say don't count, even though they're a mediocre team, don't count out the Falcons, but then they're in a mediocre division. So
yeah, I mean, for me, um, I would not count out the Raiders now that they don't have Josh McDaniels. They're only 3-5, and there's not many teams that's like far apart from them. They're very close. So I could definitely see a situation where the Raiders sort of get inspired by new coaching, new methods, and all that stuff.
And former Giants Antonio Pierce is coaching them now.
Yeah, that is hilarious. That is very hilarious. So yeah,
And we wish Antonio Pierce all the best.
you wish him well. I don't get. I don't care.
Um, and they're playing the Giants on Sunday, so let's see what happens there.
Yep.
Okay, and now here's that surprise question I was hiding from you.
Okay.
Okay, there's been this thing going around online of places you shouldn't take a woman on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is is live sporting events. Agree or disagree?
You shouldn't take a woman to a live sporting event for what?
For a first date.
For a first. Oh, okay, I see now. I misunderstood. I apologize. Um. Well, for a first date, you should always take them out to coffee. Like that's
Okay, always take out for coffee.
to coffee. You can have a little bit of a treat like a cinnamon bun or whatever.
Ooh, who doesn't like cinnamon buns?
Yeah, but yeah, no. I don't know if it's a bad place to do it. It just wouldn't be my preferred place.
Okay, me, it depends. If you're on a dating app, whether you're on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, not sponsored,
Mm.
whatever app you're on, and if you see the girl likes sports, then I wouldn't totally rule it out.
Well, here's the thing.
I wouldn't totally rule it out.
Would you allow the chick to pick the venue
What do you mean by
for the
that?
first date? Would you allow the chick? I wouldn't, but would you allow the chick to pick the venue? If it's anything entertainment wise, whether it's a theater, whether it's an arena for a concert, whether it's a sporting event at a stadium or arena, wherever, like, would you allow the person to pick the venue?
I don't think that's a terrible idea, but I don't know what you think.
Yeah. Well,
But no, if but like here's the thing: if you know they like sports, like if you see a girl on an app, if she's a big Yankee fan,
right.
would you want to say, okay, you want to go to the game?
I think, yeah, I think baseball would probably be the best sport to start off.
Because it's kind of more leisurely, if you know
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean.
leisurely, and baseball is a very teachable game. Like live, it's a very teachable game.
Yeah.
So you can show off your passion there.
But if
Uh,
you know the woman, if you don't know if she doesn't put anything on her profile and she doesn't know if you don't know she's into sports, then I wouldn't do it
yeah.
because you don't know. Because if what say if you get tickets to a game, you take her, she ends up hating it, and she never talks to you again. So I would say personally, I don't know if you've seen this list circulating around online,
yeah.
um, but to me, I would say it depends. If you know she already likes sports,
Yeah.
like if you're getting told from a dating app or from a friend who's setting you up, then I don't know if it then it wouldn't be a terrible idea. But if you don't know if she likes sports or not, then don't do it.
I,
That's
I
what I
still
think.
think I still think going out for coffee and or tea or for some treats, I think that's
That
a,
would be a
a
preferred
more,
first date.
yeah, just to,
Cinnamon buns, Reg.
icebreaker type of thing. Get to know people. But
Go
again,
to it.
that's me. I know we're out of time, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
but yeah, I just saw that. I'm thinking, what do Reg think about this question? But anyway, okay. What is your prediction for tonight?
Um, I think it'll be the Steelers that wins this game. They'll probably win like a 17 to like 10 type of deal.
I think the I think the Steelers can win this game too. I think it's going to be 20-14.
So you haven't gone over 20 point. Okay.
Okay, so if the good folks want to know more about us, where do they go, Reg?
So follow us on X at S Insanity Real. That is the network's um X page. S Insanity Real as well on Facebook. www.sportsinsanitynetwork.com. Please visit our website. We have everything you know about Sports Insanity Network there. And of course, the YouTube page. Like, comment, subscribe.
Check us out. Check
Hey.
us out. We got
This
some good
is
stuff on here.
this show is live every Thursday around 7 o'clock, maybe a little before, maybe a little after. I don't know.
Depends
But
on what kind of mood we're in.
yeah, but this show is live every Thursday during the NFL season. Um, best of luck to the teams out there.
Best of luck to both.
If you're a betting person, please bet responsibly.
Bet
And
responsibly.
yep,
Don't do anything stupid.
yep. And until then, Danny Boy Reginald, peace.
Bill Murphy, stay safe and take care.